All is set for President Rodrigo Duterte's first foreign trip as Philippine head of the state next week. The president will have working visits to Brunei Darussalam and Indonesia and attend the ASEAN summit and related meetings in Laos. 9 bilateral meetings have been scheduled for the president on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit. But the hectic schedule does not include a meeting with the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. Rocky Ignacio tells us more.
President Rodrigo Duterte will push for a better regional cooperation at the 20th and 29th ASEAN and related summit to be held in Vientiane, Laos next week. The president will also formally accept the Philippines' chairmanship for the 27th ASEAN and related summit. Office of the ASEAN Affairs Assistant Secretary Maria Helen de la Vega said the Philippines will continue to respect the rule of law, establish a legally binding agreement on the code of conduct, maritime security, disaster response, and counterterrorism.
Then our goals and objectives for this summit will be again to accept the chairmanship and strengthen the relations with the other ASEAN member states and dialogue partners, and to reiterate the support for the implementation of the ASEAN Community Vision 2025. You've heard this many times, the mantra for a rules-based, people-centered, people-oriented ASEAN, and to promote our Philippine key priorities or messages for that summit, which would include a drug-free ASEAN, respect for the rule of law, our aspiration for a legally binding code of conduct, emergency response and disaster management, protection of migrant workers, combating trafficking in persons, peace and reconciliation efforts, and combating terrorism.
President Duterte is also expected to ensure the interests of the Philippines in his first international engagement. According to De La Vega, the president wants Filipinos to have the culture of urgency for change in the country.
But I think when he goes to this summit, it's very clear in his mind what he wants. He wants to make the international community aware that he's very sincere to evolve genuine change in the country, and he wants them to understand where he's coming from as far as, for instance, this issue on the illicit drugs are concerned. And he is going there also to sort of obtain their support for our chairmanship. You asked me about my personal sense of President Duterte. I think he wants all of us to serve with urgency because he really wants change.
The Philippine government is preparing 9 bilateral meetings of the president with other global leaders in the sidelines of the summit. De La Vega said due to hectic schedule, meeting between President Duterte and United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon is unlikely.
Yes, kasama sila sa mga iba pong bansang nag-request, and so naghahanap ng schedule, and I think the president has a very tight schedule, and there are very clear priorities where
pero hindi pa confirm na mamimit ng Pangulo. Depende pa dun sa availability na schedule ng Pangulo.
Preliminarily, parang malabong mamit ni Pangulo si UN Secretary General bilaterally.
President Duterte earlier said that he will not raise territorial disputes with China in the summit. The president wants to discuss the issue bilaterally. De La Vega added that the chief executive is prepared to discuss with the U.S. President Barack Obama current situation in the country, especially in the fight against illegal drugs.
I think the president is prepared. That's why his first statement is to ask President Obama to listen to him so he can discuss and explain to him the problem that we face as far as the drug problem is concerned. So I think he's prepared for it.
Before his attendance in the ASEAN summit, the president will visit Brunei for a working visit.
Well, I can only look at it from the order of precedence as well. The Sultan is the most senior right now in the hierarchy of ASEAN. And when we talk about ASEAN protocol, plus yung availability rin ng iba.
President Duterte will also have a working visit in Jakarta, Indonesia, where he is expected to meet Filipino community as well as to check the situation of Mary Jane Veloso, who is now in the death row due to illegal drug case.
Well, if again, I cannot second guess what the president will say, but if I am to be guided by what I read in the newspapers as well, I think in his mind and foremost is what he could do for Mary Jane Veloso.
For PTV News, Rocky Ignacio.
Ako po si Cathy San Gabriel. Subscribe na sa PTV YouTube channel. I-click lang po ang subscribe button.